Weird night of sleep last night, so good time to look at the play-by-play, see what the hell happened. Oh, it's fun to do a morning after review of sleep. The time lapse just posted, so hopefully I get some people joining from that shortly. But until then, go over totals. According to the sleep tracker, 6 hours 46 minutes of sleep. Now for the time lapse, I rounded up to 7.5 hours because after I got up, let's see, when I got up, it says the last moment of sleep it tracked was 6:46. If I go back to the real time, just peek at 6:46 real quick. Yeah, I do get up. What's that gap here? Gap. Anyway, yeah. After 6:46, I woke up and then went back to sleep, which is kind of a nice thing to do. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I was supposed to cut this out. Cut this out real quick. Script Pro. Try that again. Alright, so here's the 6:46 when I posted I fell asleep. But 6:46 on the real-time recording, I woke up and decided, hey, it's more sleep. So, sliver of stream here. Yeah, here it is. Get zoomed in a little closer. Okay, so what's going on there? Here it is. Alright, well, what about that later? Okay, so 6:48. Woke up and then I should come back on live. Or come back 6:53. So I do go back in for sleep, so that's why I round up everything after 6:46. It didn't track, so I did go back to sleep between 7 and 8. So it's easily 45 minutes. So that's why I rounded up to 7.5 hours last night. Because this total does not include me going back to sleep. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to make the sleep tracker re-enable basically once I've fallen asleep again. It's still a little tricky. Hey! Sleep, that's probably not the best idea because I find myself on my phone way too easily. So yeah, one of the rules for sleep hygiene is to not have your phone in bed, so I make it way too easy to have my phone in bed by having on that little arm like that. So do it at your own risk, I guess. All right, so if you're joining me from the time lapse I posted, I tied up my sleep at 7.5 hours. So here it is. Here's the sped up version. So let's see what it looks like in under a minute. All right. So basically, fell asleep pretty easily, but fortunately 2 hours in I woke up. I'm going to try to see why I woke up 2 hours in. Fell asleep around 10:30. Woke up around midnight. Couldn't go back to sleep again until 2. So even though I could have gotten 9 hours of sleep last night, I didn't. Yeah, I tried to go back in for sleep, but I did. I ended up sleeping till 8, but I call it. I did have to turn off 1 or 2 alarms to do that. So let's see. All right. So if you've never joined me before, hi, yo, what causes my sleep apnea? Unclear. I have obstructive sleep apnea, so that's like a physical obstruction of the airway. So basically, that means when I sleep, the airway closes. Now, a lot of that could be due to positioning. For example, sleeping on your back. Sorry, sleeping on your back can cause the airway, the tissues to like collapse in on itself just based on gravity. The other thing is, yeah, deviated septum was the cause for a lot of people, but for me, I wasn't given a nasal mask, so I don't think it's an issue with my septum. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I would imagine most of my apneas are from here, not from up here. Yep. Central sleep apnea, a sleep that brings up a good point, which is a neurological issue where basically the brain doesn't tell the body to breathe at night. So same effect as sleep apnea, just different causes. But for all I know, mine is like obstructive, meaning it's a physical obstruction, and it's the most common obstructive sleep apnea. So yeah, weight loss might do it. Surgery might do it. Again, no surgery is 100% in when it comes to sleep apnea, but there are success stories. I'm not gonna deny that. All right, so if you ever joined me before, basically I do a sleep review, meaning I look over last night's sleep and compare it to the footage. Footage, you ask? Where do we get footage? Basically, I live stream my sleep apnea treatments, and what you're seeing behind me is the recording from last night's live stream. And basically, I go over the different key points in the recording and just see what I can do to get a better night's sleep tonight. So, right about there, around 1 a.m., I wound up waking up and didn't get back to sleep around 2 something. So I spent like an hour out of bed. Not actually an hour. I spent like maybe 10-20 minutes out of bed and then realized it wasn't falling back to sleep. So I got up, wound down a little more, and came back in. And overall, it took like an hour to get back in. So usually I have my alarm clock set for. We can see the clock a little better. Yeah, you can see. Normally I have my alarm clock set for 7:39, but I woke up at 7, realized I could use more sleep, so I stopped my 7:39 alarm clock so I don't wake up at 7:39. Instead, I let my backup alarm clocks go off at 8 o'clock, so that's when I wake up properly. So that's basically a real quick summary of my last night's sleep. Now, here's the thing though, me waking up at 6:46 and then deciding going back in for more sleep, the sleep tracker didn't pick up again. So even though this says 6 hours and 46 minutes, I did get another 45 minutes or so of sleep after the buzzer. So that explains. If you're joining me from the time lapse I just posted, that explains why this doesn't match up with. Well, again, I can credit myself for more sleep based on the footage. So yeah, once again, it's because I live streamed this. This is the live stream of my sleep apnea treatment from last night, and I get to review the footage, answer any questions you might have about sleep apnea treatment, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and discuss my last night's sleep. So we're gonna go to the real time, close the time lapse. Time lapse is basically just a sped up version. But now I'm gonna look at real time, meaning 10:31 is when the sleep tracker in my Apple Watch determined that I fell asleep. So we're gonna look at the beginning of the recording. This is at 10:10. All right, 10:10. I get into bed. Basically getting ready. So it's basically when I started the live stream, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on the sleep apnea mask. That's what I have in my hand right now. Now I just leaned over to put the mask on, and what I'm doing, hey, official sloop, I have the Apple Watch Ultra 2. That's the latest Apple Watch Ultra. That's what I'm using for sleep tracking. Alright, so first thing I do, I put the mask on, but I'm not gonna lay down right away. I'm just going to go ahead and run a mask fit. So this is a pretty important step. I would say anyone getting used to sleep apnea treatment should probably be running a mask fit very often. I'm just doing it as a good example, good habit for everyone. So basically, the mask fit mode runs full pressure basically, and lets it detect if there's any severe leaks. And I did notice a leak. Actually, my water chamber wasn't clicked in all the way. So once I clicked the water chamber in, boom, you can hear the hissing just basically stop. So yeah, at that point, I'm confident that I have a good seal. So yep, now go ahead and unhook the hose and put on the other layers. Now this, basically what I'm wearing right now here is the minimum I need for my sleep apnea treatment, but I'm about to add on some layers. What did I forget? Okay, I forgot something. Alright, I'm about to add on some layers. First layer, I'm adding noise cancelling headphones. That's obviously not part of sleep apnea treatment, but I've discovered that noises tend to wake me up at night. So I added noise cancelling headphones to basically help prevent noises from waking me up. Now it's just the strangest noise too, like passing trains and planes. Even though they're not particularly loud, they're like a long sustained noise. So I found that putting noise cancelling headphones prevent like passing trains from waking me up, and that's pretty much been a pretty good benefit there. Next thing I'm going to put on is a chin strap. You see it's going to have like two straps on the top and one strap going across my chin. Now that's something I also discovered from live streaming my treatment and just having a video record of my treatment, is that this is basically how slim my mask is. Sometimes my bottom jaw will droop down and will cause a leak in the mask. So that's one of the reasons why I added a chin strap. The chin strap is not part of the treatment, but I found that it's helpful for the treatment. And the last thing I'll put on before I hook up is the eye mask. You see the eye mask. And a lot of people notice I am sleeping with the lights on, and that's because, again, for the live stream, it's just easier to get pictures that way. And now I've hooked up the hose and the treatment started. So here I'm settling in for bed. I'm gonna spoon it myself into this nice little L shape I made for the pillows. Ideally that would keep me sleeping on my side, but unfortunately I don't have a really great weight. Hey, cat, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, you have great day too. Alright, so 10:13 is about when I'm ready, gotten all the stuff on. 10:32, 10:13, and then hey, actually I slept pretty well, but I woke up a bunch of times, so I would say 7 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. Yeah, wish I'd been able to sleep straight through, but that wasn't gonna happen. I'm gonna try to figure out why I woke up like 2-3 hours in, but I did get to bed pretty early, and that sometimes backfires because maybe I'm not like completely ready for sleep yet. All right, so in about 15 minutes, my sleep tracker is going to detect the first amount of sleep. Now, the other rule I break of sleep hygiene, besides having the lights on, is I have my phone at easy reach. So you see how easy it is for me to reach my phone? Yeah, that's not a great idea for anyone trying to get better sleep. So if you are trying to get better sleep, please don't follow my example. Please sleep in the dark, and please try to keep your phone out of bed. But yeah, after a few minutes of my phone, I should get comfortable enough to fall asleep. And I should be sleeping in like the next 10-12 minutes. Alright, so 10:31 is the first sleep that was detected, so let's see, about 5-6 minutes. Alright, so I pull the eye mask down, it's completely dark for me now, and I go ahead and settle in. In about 5 minutes I should be asleep. Let's see how did I fall asleep so quickly? And I think it's just one of those things now. Alright, so assuming I'm still awake at this point, I can tell I'm like assuming different poses. But just like that, wow. According to the sleep tracker, I'm asleep, and I'm inclined to believe it. I mean, just based on how I've been able to hold this pose for the last few minutes. Again, remember the sleep tracker kicked in at 10:31. So yeah, I'm asleep now. So off to the races. Alright, so 10:31 to 10:39 now. Hey, chive dumplings. Actually, I'm still on the ResMed 10, so that's what I'm using right now. Alright, so 10:39. Alright, so it says I woke up for a minute. Let's see how if that's true or not. Towards the beginning of the night, I feel like the Apple Watch is a little more sensitive to motion, and I think it will like err on the side of me probably being awake if it senses motion, but we'll see. Alright, so next minute I'm just gonna gauge whether I'm asleep or not. Fast forwarding. Okay, so did I wake up this minute or no? I'm gonna say no. I mean, no major movement. It's hard to say. Yeah, maybe that movement may have tricked the watch into thinking I was awake. And that type of turning to my side, I think it's borderline. It could be awake and or not. Either way, I'm not really looking to add more time in. I'm just trying to dispute this 3 minutes that thought I was awake. I think it took the totality of that motion before turning on my side and just decided, okay, you were probably awake for that 3 minutes, even though it wasn't. Alright, so next up we have some. Do I usually remember my dreams? Ooh, I did have some dreams last night. I just did not remember what they were, to be honest. Oh, yeah, it's gonna bug me all night, all morning now. I'm thinking back. No, I don't usually remember my dreams, but I tend to dream more. More often I get better sleep, the more often I dream better. So, um, alright, so the next little while in my sleep, I'm going to be in and out of deep sleep, like what, around 11 o'clock, 11, wait, whoa, 11:35, so real short deep sleep moments. I mean, I'm basically going for fast forward through the 11 o'clock hour, and you'll see some deep sleep, but I don't think we're going to see anything particularly noteworthy about the deep sleep. Yeah, we're already past it. Again, deep sleep stages are so short. I don't think there's anything really know about it now. Here at 10:25, speaking of dreams, we have REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep. So when did that start? 12:25. So let's jump to 12:25. Okay. Now what's interesting is my eye mask came off, so I did have a rapid eye movement sleep. It might be pretty visible. So let's take a look. 10:25. I'm gonna zoom in on my eyeballs, see what kind of rapid eye movement there was. Probably the extreme close up. Just gonna take a look real close at my eyelids. to see what kind of eye movements we're seeing. So far, not too much. Again, rapid eye movement is the sleep stage that's most commonly associated with dreaming, but you don't necessarily have to be in REM sleep to dream. But it's just one of those stages where dreaming is very likely. You can see the eyeballs are moving slightly. Yeah, maybe when I turn on my side, just one eyeball, you may be able to see a little bit better. Am I still in REM sleep? Let's see. REM sleep. This REM sleep lasts all the way for 20 minutes or so. So let's keep watching that eyelid. Yeah, there's definitely some eye motion. Yeah. So I did dream about something. I wish I made it a point to even like write down what it was about, because by the time the morning came around, I already forgot. Now, the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to wake up, and that's what I'm probably gonna take a nice close look at, because I'm really curious why I woke up basically 2 hours into sleeping. So let's see. Yeah, there's more rapid eye movement. So it detected that I woke up at 12:52, and we're gonna see if there's anything. Now, for me, it's usually noise. Noise usually wakes me up. But let's see. So right now it's 12:47, 12:48. All right. Pretty rapid eye movement. Lots of rapid eye movement happening. But now I'm gonna turn the sound up on the recording because I want to hear if there's any noises that woke me up. I do see some noises coming up, so I'm curious. All right, sorry if that's loud. Maybe I'll hear even my. You can hear my breathing too. Put a little bit of a noise filter on this, so that it's not too bothersome. Try some of this noise. Right, so where was it? Right around here I wake up. So why did I wake up? Let's try to find some answers. You can hear the pretty rhythmic breathing. And the machine's doing its thing. There's no leak. Yeah, there's no leak right now. So I'm looking at. I also have some data from Oscar. All right. So why did my arm move? Yeah, let me zoom out. Let's go ahead and take a look at full bird's eye view. Yeah. Shifting my leg up like that. So yeah, something happens. Oh, look at that. I don't know. That was just me adjusting my mask or just reaching for my mask. Again, that's a pretty common thing with people on sleep apnea treatment, is that their hands go at the mask, and that's why I've added like the chin strap. It just adds a little bit extra support to the mask, so it doesn't like shift off or anything. But yeah, I don't really quite know. Right now, I'm still asleep. In fact, it says 12. It's like it detected I was awake for a moment, but I think it was just more of a misreading. But the real wake up is coming in the moment, so I'm just gonna fast forward through here. All right, I just turn back over on my side. So what caused me to wake up? Yeah, there's some more noises coming up. Hey, Floor stick. Yeah, you do bring up a good reason. Good point. Exercise does help. You know, alleviate some cases of sleep apnea. Again, I would go for a run, but I'm sleeping. So, in this recording, I'm not waking up for a midnight run, but I do appreciate the advice, though. All right, Jamal, you have CPAP, but you can't fall asleep. Did you take pills? No. Basically, I got pretty used to falling asleep with it. Like, I mean, the worst thing you can do for, getting used to the machine is to lay there and not fall asleep. Because if you, does this help with snoring? Yes, Flores, the machine does help with snoring. So Jamal, if you're having trouble falling asleep with it, I would recommend a couple things. There's a ramp time on the Nima. Is this on my do? No, this is just sleeping. So I do 8 hours a day, and I do just spend like an hour of the day analyzing it. You know, anything I do to get a better night's sleep tonight, I think it's worth it. All right. So yeah, Jamal, the ramp time. So basically, you don't want to be laying there with the mask on, awake, because all you're gonna start associating the mask with is being awake. So if you can't quite get to sleep with it, get up out of bed, take the mask off, wipe it down, and then relax a little while longer, and then go back in when you're ready for sleep. Because what you want to do is you want to be as tired as possible and like ready to like knock out when you have the mask on. Because the more you associate the mask with insomnia, the less likely you're gonna latch onto it as a cue to fall asleep. For me, I've gotten so used to being asleep with the mask on that basically putting the mask on it tells my body, "Yep, time for bed." Um, the other thing is the ramp time. So what I mentioned is ramp time, meaning the machine will start you off at low pressure, and then after a little while, it's gonna assume you've fallen asleep. Now, if it's wrong, all of a sudden let's say you're laying there for a half hour with the mask on, all of a sudden the pressure's going to increase on the mask. It's going to start blowing air, and it's going to really be uncomfortable. At that point, you have no choice but to take the mask off, because that's intolerable. You have to then stop the ramp, start over, so that way give the machine give yourself more time to fall back asleep, and then tell the machine you're not asleep yet. So that way you can get used to it. So again, you just have to get used to the machine, and again, adjusting those ramp times, or getting used to working around the ramp times is is the key to doing that. You don't want to have the mask on when it's blowing full pressure, because if it's blowing pressure, and you're noticing like, it's, oh my god, it's blowing so much air, you should not be awake when that's happening. That's kind of the key to falling asleep with it. You have to sleep. You have to you have to fall asleep during that period while the pressure is low, and then accept the high pressure while you're asleep. All right. So I didn't find the time when I woke up. So cool, cool. Yeah, Jamal, give that a shot tonight. And best of luck. Yeah, really just put the mask on when you're like tired enough to fall asleep. Yeah, because the more you associate with insomnia, the more you'll associate it with not being able to sleep. All right, so I found when I woke up, and I really cannot find any reason besides me just wanting to wake up. So I just woke up. This is, remember, I got into bed around 10:30. And I opened my eyes and I looked at my watch. It was like, okay, it's not time to wake up yet. But I think at this point, I'm too awake to not. Uh, yeah, I might like shut my eyes and try to go back to sleep, but I think it's pretty clear that's not happening. All right, so here I am waking up now. I'm like, okay, I've come to accept it. I wake up, and you're gonna see a cut in. Again, this is recording from my live stream, so if you watch the clock, at some point I make the decision, okay, time to get up, or it's time to get up and try to resettle back in for bed. So yeah, you see I'm a little groggy, so I don't make that decision right away. And it's one of those things that other things you have to do to get used to the mask is taking off the mask and then laying there. You run the risk of falling asleep with the mask off. So that's why I'm always very careful to. Um, Once I decide to get out of bed, I take all the actions. I get up, sit up early, turn the live stream off, and then boom. All right, now there's the jump cut. So went from 12:59, so basically 1 a.m. to 11. Now I can tell you that wasn't how long I didn't mean to spend an hour or 10 minutes out of bed. I did try to go back into bed a little bit, but I couldn't, so I basically got up again and tried again for it. So 2:11's when the second time I did cut out an entire another while of trying to get to sleep. So here I am on my phone again. I'm just trying to do anything to relax. I mean, again, not the best idea to have the phone in bed like that, but I was just out of ideas at this rate. I think I was I doing? Playing Pokemon maybe? I don't know. Yeah. But you see my eyes are really droopy. I think at some point I realized I'm not even gonna play Pokemon that well. But yeah, look how like hard it is to keep my eyes open. And then eventually I'm like, okay, it's really hard to keep your eyes open. So 12:28, I decide, okay, it's time. Tired enough. Alright, pull the eye mask down, get back in, and I should be asleep again. Now, the sleep tracker says, you see this big orange period, and then jump to the end of the big orange period. I fell asleep at 2:18, so that's, whoa, 2:18. That's weird. Did I actually doze off in the middle? That's weird. Yeah, that's strange. I mean, clearly I'm awake, but maybe it's just this detecting that I'm like, my eyes are really drooping and like dozing off. Either way. Okay, so when am I really for real asleep again? I will say maybe after this next period. 12:27 is probably it. Yeah, right here is probably a safe time to say I'm asleep again. So yeah, all right, back to sleep. So 2:30. All right, so we're back to sleep. Now the next sleep phase that's gonna happen is gonna be quite a while from now. Um, what do you call it? 3:50. I have some rapid eye movement sleep. And again, if you're just showing me, rapid eye movement sleep is the sleep stage that's most commonly associated with dreaming. So if you're in rapid eye movement sleep, your eyes are moving a lot, and you're basically um, in a you can tend to be dreaming. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to 3:50 and see. Now the eye mask is still on, so we're not gonna be able to see much rapid eye movement, but I think we'll just pay attention to just maybe like what this phase looks like. And this phase lasted all the way 44 minutes of REM sleep, which is pretty good. I mean, it does explain why I felt somewhat rested, but again, I saw the time. I woke up an hour too early. I did go back in for more sleep, but I seems like I got a decent amount of REM sleep last night. So 3:50 to 4:34. So that's right here. I'm gonna see if the eye mask comes off at all. It doesn't actually, but it's like if I go extreme close up, so I'm gonna go really close in for close up. I'm gonna see right, yeah, right between the flaps of my eye mask. You can see one of my eyelids, so you might actually be able to see some of the rapid eye movement. Just a little hint of it. See if I can better. Okay, so that's the eyelid there, and we might see some rapid eye movement. Now I do see the eyelid fluttered just slightly, but nothing too wild in terms of rapid eye movement. Again, this phase happens for about 45 minutes, so go back out. The REM stage ends at 3:40, 3:34. So yeah, just fast forward through that. Yep, I can see some movement on the. Yeah. Also, you notice it's hard to see, but my hands kind of do that twitching thing. All right, so here's the end of REM, and we're gonna go back into this regular light sleep. Now, regular light sleep is a lot of potential for tossing and turning, while REM and deep sleep, you're basically holding your body in the same position for a while. The likelihood for tossing and turning during one of the REM or deep sleep stages is pretty unlikely. All right, so let's see what's coming up next on the sleep tracker. Do I want to fact check this 1 minute of being awake? I'm not gonna bother. Ooh, we have some deep sleep coming at 5:22. I'm gonna jump ahead to that and see what deep sleep looks like. Again, deep sleep and REM sleep are just being characterized by just real lack of motion. You're seeing me hold this pose pretty much for the duration of that deep sleep. So look at that in a second. Hey Malron, how long did it take to get used to wearing it? You've used yours for about 3 weeks and you still feel anxious? Well, I think I got used to mine pretty quickly, so I never ever felt like claustrophobic or anxious wearing the mask. So I would say, different people takes different time to get used to it. But if you're still feeling anxious, um, definitely try to minimize the time you're awake with the mask on, because then you start associating the mask with anxiety. So just the same way someone asked earlier about they're not able to fall asleep with the mask on, you want to start associating the mask with, well, pretty much the moments when you're like basically tired enough to knock out. At that point, you put the mask on, head hits pillow, you're asleep. So you minimize that time of anxiety, minimize that time of insomnia, because you don't want to associate those two states with having the mask on, because those would be pretty hard associations to break. So that would be probably my advice. And for me, I would say it took me. I was pretty comfortable with the mask and stuff. I mean, I'm no stranger to headwear. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, basically didn't have much trouble, feeling like the mask was on. But as long as you start associating with sleep and not with laying there being awake, then that will just you'll start being able to improve your ability to have the mask on. Yeah, give that a shot, Malron. That's probably my best advice. Alright, so 6:24, we're going to have another rapid eye movement phase. So I'm going to jump right to that and see if my eye mask comes up at all. It doesn't, but I think we're going to see a little bit of my eyeball. So I'm going to zoom in just a bit and show you what parts of my eyes are visible. Now again, rapid eye movement sleep is the sleep stage that's most commonly associated with dreaming. So during this sleep phase, you'll see the eyelids twitching a lot. Potentially may even see the eyeballs twitch left and right, but they're a little bit obscured, so you may not see that eyeball movement, but you may see the eyelid movement. Yeah, I can definitely see some eyelid movement, like fluttering up and down a little bit. Yeah, the eyelids will be shut, they'll be fluttering up and down, while the eyeballs underneath the eyelids will be moving left and right. That's a pretty distinct thing to see. Again, the eye mask is down right now, so you won't be able to see a whole lot of it, but it's pretty distinct motion once you see it. Lewis, you've been on yours for 2 months, and you've been on APAP. Do you recommend switching CPAP? APAP is what's called automatic positive airway pressure, while CPAP stands for continuous positive airway pressure. So APAP actually, I would say, in all respects, it's better than CPAP. Let me pull up some. I know. I'm gonna fact check myself real quick. APAP versus CPAP. So basically, what's good? The good thing about APAP is it basically adapts to your breathing throughout the night. Now, if you switch to CPAP, you might find it more uncomfortable because with CPAP, it's one constant pressure, which may adjust itself throughout the night. Like, it's say it's at hypothetically at 14, and then it'll detect maybe more pressure. It'll go up to like 15, but that's constant pressure. Now with APAP, it adjusts your pressure on each breath, meaning every breath you can get a different pressure based on what it needs, and then that should make it more comfortable, especially for like inhale and exhale. Give you an idea of like maybe like a midpoint between CPAP and APAP is BiPAP. So CPAP you get one pressure, APAP you get dynamic pressure basically based on each breath, and BiPAP you get two pressures. So basically one on the inhale, one on the exhale, and those two numbers could change throughout the night, just like CPAP. But with APAP, basically it's dynamically adjusting the pressure up on each breath. So I wouldn't consider CPAP an upgrade from APAP. Just so you know. So if you were given an APAP, I would stick with it. If you're having issues with the APAP, yeah, let us know what kind of issues you have. Maybe we'll have some ideas for you. Ominous. Do I feel better with the CPAP machine? You scared because you know you have sleep apnea. Ominous. If you haven't been diagnosed yet, I mean, don't be scared about getting the diagnosis because it's more important that you know and you can start addressing it. I mean, don't be scared of this. This is just one possible future for you. I would say the sooner you find out, the better. Because me, it wasn't until my 30s until I found out that I had sleep apnea. Yeah, and definitely you'll feel better once you're on treatment. Because right now, if you do have sleep apnea and you're not treating it, basically it's impossible for you to get good night's sleep no matter what you do. You can, I don't know, sleep on your side, sleep, on your stomach, do whatever, but it's still a chance of your. Sorry, I had to cough. It's still a chance of your breathing stopping at night. So you wanna know, because if knowing is the way to how to get that addressed. And again, CPAP's not the only option. There's surgery, there's implants now. So if you don't think CPAP is going to be something you'll ever get used to, again, I wouldn't knock until you tried. Then again, just get the diagnosis. And what I tell people about who are like me, that who really like stubborn and didn't want to get diagnosed, there's like the process is not fast. And give you an idea, like you can go in to a sleep specialist. They'll be like, okay, we think you may have sleep apnea, come back in 2 months for a sleep study. And you're like, 2 months? It's like, yeah, it sometimes takes that while. So the sooner you get that ball rolling about diagnosis, the better, because sometimes you might decide, okay, today I'm gonna go talk to my doctor about it, and still maybe weeks or months before you get on any sort of treatment. So the sooner you're treating it, the sooner you're starting to undo that damage that it's doing. All right, so we're coming up on. I think I'm waking up shortly. So actually, this is the end of what my sleep tracker kept, which is 6:46. So at some point here, I wake up, but it's decidedly my alarm clock set for 7:40. So I don't know what woke me up here. whatever it was. Yeah. I wonder if this was sound or anything. No, I think it was just me stirring awake. Because I don't think it's any external stimuli. I think I just decided it was. Oh, I opened my eyes, checked the time, realized it's still have an hour to go. So at this point, what do I do? I think either I get up and use the restroom and then come back and decide, hey, I can easily get another hour of sleep in. So I think that's what I do. So here's a jump cut. Oops. So like 5 minutes go by and I get back into the bed, turn off my alarms and say, hey, let's so usually I have my alarm set for 7:40. Now I'm gonna set my alarms for 8 o'clock so I can try to Lewis, that's the F30i by ResMed. Cool. Alright, so back to sleep. And this is all untracked sleep. So unfortunately I couldn't get my sleep tracker to recognize that I had fallen back asleep again. But I'm asleep. I'm positive I'm asleep. This is not just how often do I go to my lung doctor? I go to see my primary care doctor every 3 months. My sleep doctor every 6. Alright, so basically, oh, the other nice thing about sleep apnea treatment, see how I have the blanket pulled up over my head? I can still breathe because the hose is like right up there, and I can basically sleep under a blanket, and I can still breathe. That's one of the nice side benefits of having a sleep apnea mask. All right, so this next hour, I won't have any data on, but I basically managed to scrape out another maybe 45 minutes of sleep. That's why I rounded up from 6 hours 45 minutes to 7.5 hours, because this untracked 45 minutes is something I can just tack on pretty easily. All right, so this is normally when my alarm would go off. I went ahead and stopped that. So my alarm is going to go off at 8. So pretty sure I spared the recording of any like alarm clock sounds, but here we go. Up there, my oh my god, I'm such a so my phone, I didn't turn off my phone alarm. So here's me being a little bit of a confused person right now. So I hear that. You hear the birds chirping? That's my phone alarm. But I'm reaching for my like alarm clock, which usually make the beep beep beep. I'm reaching for the snooze button on the wrong device. That's how you can tell how out of it I am. So basically right now I'm like reaching for the snooze button, like, where's the snooze? Why isn't this working? Yeah, this is okay, there. Then I think I clicked it off on my phone. I managed to probably like fall back asleep for another 10 minutes. So yeah, that was a sign of a good little bonus sleep I tacked on to the end, because like I didn't have to like get up till 8. So um, you know, let's see. I think an actual alarm clock is gonna get me in like a few minutes. So here I am asleep again. Hey, you use your shirt as a blindfold? Well, yeah, it's interesting. You can always get an eye mask. Eye masks are pretty comfortable. They even make ones like beads. So like, all right. So here's one of my alarm clocks. I'm just gonna play a little sound of it. Yep, there was. Okay, so this is the real alarm clock, and I went to hit the snooze on that. Okay, and now I'm up. So that's me properly awake. All right, so remember that was between 6:45 and 8. I would say that's from the 6 hours and 46 minutes it determined here. I added on 45 minutes because that's basically time it didn't track. All right, so look at some of my other stats real quick. Here are my percentages for sleep stages. I had 19% REM sleep, 14% deep sleep. In quantities, that was an hour and a half of REM sleep, an hour and 9 minutes of deep sleep. Junie B, would you ever wake up feeling dizzy and rest? Probably, yeah. Dizzy, not quite sure, but restless for sure. Yeah. You just got diagnosed with sleep apnea? All right, you mild. Okay, cool. Are you getting a machine, or you've been prescribed maybe like a different strategy to approach it? I'm just curious. All right, so here's some of my other quick stats: beats per minute, respiratory rate. My wrist was a little warmer than the night before. Hope that doesn't mean anything. All right. Doesn't want to do machine. Bittersweet says they recommend. So there's a couple ways to address mild sleep apnea that don't require the machine. One is side sleeping. So if you can force yourself to sleep on your side, let's see. Thank you for the follow. Better sleep. Better sleep. Who is? What is better sleep? If you don't mind me asking. Is that like online sleep therapy? Oh, I'll be danged. It is. Ah, I see. Interesting. Yeah. So they say, again, I use the machine, so I'm a big proponent of the machine. You know, someone in your house. Judy B, thank you for the follow. Sleeping on your side is one way to address mild sleep apnea. Again, if you get an idea of what like sleep posture in most of the night, you can decide whether that's an option. But for me, I know it's basically impossible for me to sleep on my side all night because look here, I mean, basically I start sleeping on my side and then boom, the only way I can get to sleep is sleeping on my back. Side, back, side, back, 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 side, side. So I'm not pretty indecisive, but I would say mostly I'm a back sleeper. Anytime I try to force myself to sleep on my side or sleep at an angle, it always just kind of results in me sleeping on my back. So I would say that's a way to approach mild sleep apnea, is forcing yourself to be a side sleeper. If you don't think that's possible, I would say the machine is the way to go. I mean, no one really adamantly wants the machine, but I can tell you, once you get on treatment with the machine, you can basically get better sleep in any position. Like you saw I slept on my side a lot last night. Here, I'll play the time lapse again. So you'll see like side, back, side, back. So yeah, it's up to you. I mean, the machine's definitely gonna be a journey. It's gonna be trying to like get used to a whole type of therapy, and may give you better sleep. But you know, again, if you can manage to get yourself to sleep on your side, that would probably, that might help. But kind of just really have to decide what's best. I mean, you're great to see yeah. Basically, before my diagnosis, before treatment, any amount of sleep would be basically useless for me. It would just be like I hadn't slept at all, or I would go to sleep and wake up feeling worse. So that's my endorsement for the machine, but it's your call. I mean, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up my sleep review. Mouth taping. Ooh. I'm gonna shoot down mouth taping. Tim Wins shoots. I'm gonna shoot that down right now. So mouth taping is not the best idea for anyone who's been diagnosed with sleep apnea, and here's why. People say, "Oh, yeah, just mouth tape, you'll be fine." No, do not. I have some tape right here. I can tell you why. Because basically, how often do I look at Oscar data? I only started using Oscar recently. So this is the kind of tape they use for mouth tape. Now, don't try this at home, folks. This is super dangerous, and I'm gonna tell you why. So for me, my sleep apnea treatment is a full face treatment. You can see my mask is just cupping my nose and covering my mouth. So basically, providing air through my mouth and my nose to my airway. What happens if I do this? All of a sudden, I only get nose through my nose. I'll get out air through my nose. So that'd be bad. Now, sleep apnea. Think about it's going to sound pretty extreme, but it's sort of what your body is doing at night. When your body experiences apnea, imagine it's your body choking itself. So it's this invisible force that's basically closing at your airway, and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, that's terrible. Let's fix it." Why then would the solution to this be this? It's like your body's choking you, but to fix it, you're just gonna block your mouth so you can't breathe through your mouth. That how is yeah, Tim Winshoots. I hate to debunk mouth taping right in front of you like that, but no, do not attempt mouth taping, especially if you know you have sleep apnea. Again, a lot of people with maybe mild sleep apnea will be tempted to buy mouth taping, and a lot of people will swear by it. I can tell you right now, it's a bad idea for anyone who's on sleep apnea treatment, and you know, if they're on full face treatment for sure, you don't want to turn full face. Yes, Lewis, that's a good point. If you're on nasal treatment, that means you're primarily breathing through your nose. You may be able to incorporate mouth taping to make the seal better and maybe not cause your mouth to open up much at all. Now, you should still talk to, because if you're on nasal treatment, you're talking to a sleep doctor anyway. You should definitely talk to your sleep doctor, before incorporating mouth taping into nasal sleep apnea treatment. But do not on any, again, I'm not a doctor, so any of my advice should be taken with a grain of salt, but I can just caution you from a civilian perspective, do not incorporate mouth taping with sleep apnea treatment without consulting your doctor. And I would say don't try it out of curiosity either, because you may end up just subjecting yourself to a bad night's sleep just for curiosity. And for me, none of my curiosity is enough to risk incorporating mouth taping. Thoughts on that substance? I'm gonna have to look that up and I'll tell you, but I'll caution against most substances. Just be careful. I mean, full disclosure, I am on a substance my doctor prescribed me for sleep, so I'm not going to describe which one, so I'm not going to endorse any particular substance, but you just have to be careful with any type of substances. Okay, so what is that? I still don't know what it is. Oh, tirzepatide. It is? Okay. So it's like Ozempic? Maybe? Yeah, I would say, oh, I see. Yeah, Zepbound, things like that. A lot of those are not going to substitute for sleep apnea treatment. Do I watch TV sleep? No, I listen to a YouTube playlist. So it's sort of like watching TV. But yeah, substances, especially like again, any like weight loss substance, that's a hopefully long-term fix, because ideally in cases where sleep apnea is caused by weight gain, you hope to be able to reverse it by weight loss. Now, again, that's doesn't mean every case of sleep apnea is curable by weight loss. So that's my thought on that particular substance or that particular route to try to lose weight. So yeah, just caution. Again, one thing I want to like caution against people against is mouth taping and also substances. Again, if you're given substances by your doctor, yeah, by all means, it's your doctor's prescribing it for a reason. But don't, again, I wouldn't bank on any particular substance being the cure all for sleep apnea, because a lot of people lose weight and don't get rid of their sleep apnea. So that's just my opinion there. Alright, folks, I've just been live for just over an hour, so I'm gonna thank you all for joining me. Let's see what I'm gonna do differently tonight. Hopefully, I can avoid. I really do want to avoid this big wake up. Now, I don't know what caused me to wake up. To be honest, nothing on the recording did. I mean, maybe I think yesterday was really exhausting. I was tired all day, and I may have taken a nap or two. Naps are bad. Let's I should get that clear for me. So I'm gonna avoid taking a nap today. Hopefully tonight that will make my sleep nice and solid. What else? I mean, the amount of sleep I got in the end was pretty decent, but it was segmented. So segmenting sleep is, obviously continuous sleep is much better. So I would prefer that over segmented sleep. All right. Any last questions about sleep apnea? Otherwise, we can go ahead and end the live. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for my new followers and the 1.7k hearts. Again, I've been sleep apnea vlogger. Basically, I've been live streaming my sleep apnea treatment for the last 3 years. And here on TikTok Live, I've just been going over the live stream footage, answering questions you might have about sleep apnea. And yeah, hopefully sharing some insights, sharing some stories about why it's important to get diagnosed with sleep apnea if you might have it, and what the thank you music for joining us and and hearing me out. All right, so be back tomorrow morning for another sleep review, hopefully with some better sleep under my belt. Again, ideally I would like to get 8 hours of sleep, but continuous sleep. So I got 7 hours 45 minutes, but segmented like thrice. So segmenting sleep, not great, but again, my body needed it, so I did it. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining me. I will talk to you all tomorrow morning for our sleep review. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Peace out.